Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to study the Laplace principle of making decisions under certainty. And for this purpose, we have an illustration in which a company has 6 actions: A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 and A6. So the company can take any of these actions or strategies. And in counter of that, there are 6 possible events E1, E2, E3, E4, E5 or E6 that may take place in future. As we are studying the situation under uncertainty, it means we have no information or the company has no information about the probabilities of happening of these events. Okay, so with this information and this type of situation can be handled by using the Laplace principle of making decisions. So what is the basic assumption that is followed under this principle? It is that if we have no information or we don't know the probabilities or likelihood of happening the future events, in that case we can assign them equal probabilities. It means we can assign equal probabilities to event E1, E2, E3, E4, E5 and E6. So we can say that there is equal probability or they are equally likely to happen in future. So with this information and with this assumption, we can follow these 2 steps to calculate the solution for this illustration. And remember that this table represents the profits. Okay. The first combination, that is of E1, A1 is equal to 360. In this case, 360 is representing the profit to company A. If company takes action 1 and in future the event 1 takes place, in that situation, the company will earn a profit equal to 360 rupees. Similarly, these are the respective payoffs of different combinations. In total, there can be 36 combinations of events and strategies. Like the combination of E1 event with different strategies are 6. Similarly, for each event, there are 6 possible combinations of actions. In total, there would be 36 combinations or 36 payoffs. Okay, so with this information we need to calculate the best action for company A. So in step 1, it is the payoff matrix which represents the profits. In step 1, determine the expected or mean value of payoffs for each strategy. For each strategy or action which are represented by the different columns in this table, we need to calculate the expected value or the mean value of each strategy. And for that purpose, what we need to do? We need to calculate the mean payoff for action 1 or strategy 1. For that purpose, we need to calculate the sum of all the payoffs for this particular action. If company takes action A1, then there can be 6 possible events. In case of E1, there would be profit of 360. In case of event E2, there would be profit of 360. So coincidentally or by chance, the payoffs for company A are equal in every case. So we need to calculate the mean of each strategy. For that purpose, we need to calculate the sum of each action or of each column. So in this case, the sum would be equal to 0, 6 and it is 2. So the sum of this column would be equal to 2160. The sum for action 2 or strategy 2 would be equal to 0, 1, 2210. And for action A3, the sum would be equal to 2190. For action A4, the sum would be equal to 2100. For action A5, the sum would be equal to 1940. And for action A or strategy 6, the sum of the payoffs would be equal to 1710. So in step 1, what we need to do, we need to calculate the mean value. And as we know that the formula of mean is sum of the facts divided by the number of facts, or sum of the data points divided by the number of data points. So in particular for action 1, the sum of the data points is equal to this, and the number of data points is equal to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the mean would be equal to, we would divide this value by 6, and the mean is equal to 360. For action 2, again the mean would be equal to 2210 divided by 6, that is equal to 368.3. And for action 3, the mean value would be equal to 2190 by 6, that is equal to 365. For action 4, the sum would be equal to 2100 by 6, that is equal to 350. For action 5, the sum would be equal to, or the average would be equal to 323.3. And for last action, the sum is equal to, the average is equal to 285.0. So in next step, what is the procedure? In step 2, select the strategy with highest mean value. Remember, this payoff matrix shows the profits of different combinations. So in step 2, we need to select the strategy with highest mean value. So out of these actions or strategies, the highest mean value is represented by action 2. Action 2, that is equal to 368.3. So according to this principle, the optimal action or strategy for company would be A2, because it gives the highest return or highest profit to the company. Now we would discuss the another case in which the payoff matrix shows the costs, in which the payoff matrix represents the cost. Suppose with the same illustration that these values are not profits but costs. So the combination, the cost of first combination E1 A1 is equal to 360. The cost of combination E1 A2 is 310. If company takes action A3 and event 1 happens, then what would be the cost? It is 260. So we are moving ahead with same illustration. So in that case, what would be the procedure of calculating optimal strategy? Determine expected or mean value of payoffs for each strategy with the same steps as we did in earlier case. Mean value of payoffs for each strategy. So we have calculated the mean values for each strategy. Then in step 2, select the strategy with lowest mean value. So where is the difference in step 2? In case when the payoff matrix shows the profits of the company of different combinations, then we need to select the highest mean value. And if the payoff matrix shows the costs of different combinations, then we need to calculate or select the lowest mean value. So in first case, the answer or optimal strategy would be action 2. And in second case, when the information is given in terms of cost, the answer would be the minimum of these mean values. So minimum is 285. So in second case, the optimal strategy would be A6. And in first case, the optimal strategy would be A2. So in this way, there is simple logic behind it, because if the costs are given, then every company would go for the action or strategy which minimizes its cost. So that's why we have selected the minimum value. And when the information is given in profits, then every company would go for the strategy or action that earn the highest profit. That's why we have selected the highest value in first case. So whenever we solve these type of problems, first we need to know or look carefully on the payoff matrix which values it does show, which values it represents in terms of profits or costs, and accordingly we would apply the Laplace principle. Thank you.